Have you ever wondered what it would be like if your senses weren't so neatly separated? What if you could hear colors, taste music, or see sounds? While that might sound like something straight out of a science fiction movie, it's actually a phenomenon called synesthesia, and it could be happening in your brain right now, just not in the way you think. What is synesthesia? Synesthesia is a neurological condition where stimulation of one sensory or cognitive pathway leads to involuntary experiences in another. In other words, when a person with synesthesia experiences something with one of their senses, it might trigger a simultaneous experience in a completely different sense. Imagine hearing a certain note on a piano and instantly seeing a burst of color. Or perhaps you eat a strawberry and, instead of just tasting it, you also feel the texture of a soft fabric. While it sounds strange, for those who have synesthesia, this is just a normal part of life. The types of synesthesia. Synesthesia is not just a single phenomenon, there are over 60 known types. Here are a few of the most mind-boggling. Grapheme color synesthesia. This is the classic version most people think of when they hear the word synesthesia. For those who experience this, individual letters or numbers are associated with specific colors. For example, the letter A might always appear red, while B might be blue. Imagine trying to read a book where the words aren't just black and white but full of vibrant hues. Chromesthesia, sound to color. This form of synesthesia links sounds to colors. When a person hears a specific sound, it might trigger the perception of a color. A trumpet might produce a fiery red, while a piano might evoke a calm blue. It's like a symphony playing in their head, not just with sounds, but with a visual show of light and color. Lexical gustatory synesthesia, words to tastes. Yes, you heard that right, some people with synesthesia actually taste words. For these individuals, when they hear certain words or names, it triggers a specific taste in their mouth. For example, the word banana might make them taste, well, banana-flavored pudding. It's a truly bizarre sensory crossover that leads to some interesting experiences. Spatial sequence synesthesia. For some, numbers and dates are perceived as having spatial relationships. The number 5 might always appear in a certain place in their mind's eye, and 3 might be far away from it. It's like having an internal map of numbers and time that only they can see. Personification synesthesia. This one is a bit whimsical. People with this type of synesthesia might associate personalities with numbers or letters. The number 3 could be perceived as shy, while the letter D might feel like a mischievous character. It's like living in a world full of animated, anthropomorphized symbols. Why does synesthesia happen? The exact cause of synesthesia is still a bit of a mystery, but scientists think it might have something to do with the brain's wiring. In synesthetes, different sensory areas of the brain might be more interconnected than in people without the condition. This heightened connectivity allows one sensory experience to spill over into another. Some researchers believe that synesthesia could be a result of cross-activation between sensory regions of the brain. For instance, the part of the brain that processes color might be too closely connected to the part that processes numbers or sounds. Other theories suggest that synesthesia could be genetic, meaning it might run in families. Interestingly, synesthesia doesn't always stay the same for everyone. Some people experience their synesthetic sensations for the first time as children, while others might develop it later in life, often after a traumatic event or drug use. Can synesthesia make you smarter? While synesthesia might sound like a quirky condition, it's not just a fun party trick, it could actually make people more creative. Many artists, musicians, and writers have reported experiencing synesthesia, and it often leads to highly original work. For example, famed composer Olivier Messiaen had chromesthesia, which helped him develop his unique style of music that was rich in vivid, colorful descriptions. Some research suggests that synesthetes tend to be more creative and have higher than average scores in tests of memory and associative thinking. Having multiple senses involved in the perception of the world could lead to a more richly layered experience, encouraging people to think outside the box and create in ways that others might not imagine. Living with synesthesia, what is it like? For most people with synesthesia, their condition is a gift rather than a curse. Many describe their experiences as beautiful, even magical. Some synesthetes say they feel a sense of wonder as they navigate the world, as though everything around them is more alive and colorful. Imagine listening to your favorite song, and not only hearing it but seeing a stunning array of colors flash in front of you. Or reading a book, and finding that every page is not only full of words but painted with vibrant colors that align with the story. That's the reality for some synesthetes, and it's a reality that's filled with sensory delight. Can you train yourself to have synesthesia? While synesthesia is typically a genetic or neurological condition, there are some ways to train yourself to experience similar sensations. Some people have experimented with deliberately pairing sounds with colors, smells with shapes, or other sensory combinations. Over time, the brain might start to make those associations more automatically. But, it's important to note that this induced synesthesia is not quite the same as a genuine phenomenon that occurs naturally in the brain. Synesthesia is one of the most mind-bending, delightful, and peculiar aspects of human perception. Whether you're seeing music in colors or tasting words on your tongue, it's a reminder of how wonderfully complex our brains are, and how much we have yet to discover about the sensory world around us. If you're curious about whether you might have synesthesia, you could start experimenting with sounds, colors, and taste to see if any unexpected connections pop up. But if nothing happens, don't worry, you might still be able to enjoy the fascinating world of synesthesia through the eyes, or ears, of those who live with it every day. So next time you hear a note, take a second to ask yourself, could that sound have a color? Or a flavor? In the world of synesthesia, anything is possible! Did you enjoy this glimpse into the world of synesthesia? Let me know your thoughts, or share your own sensory experiences in the comments below. If you enjoyed this fascinating dive into the world of synesthesia, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more mind-blowing content. Stay curious, and never stop exploring!